Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ooled Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. Welcome. So, Gemini, tonight we have the Devil card. I know, we see it and we're like, oh my gosh, what kind of scary stuff is coming along with that devil, right? No, it's not always a bad or scary card. I promise you that. In fact, the way that I like to interpret the devil is one who has that kind of rebellious spirit. That energy that kind of shows up and tells us, yeah, this is not... I don't think I'm going to do this. I don't really fit into this system, or I don't really feel like I need to be living the way that somebody else envisions, right? And so, yeah, there is this kind of almost oppositional energy here, okay? And that is one that begins to break chains, begins to get the wheels turning. We're not stuck anymore when the devil energy shows up. We know, like, okay, this is it. This is my time. This is, when I make that leap of faith. Okay? So, we're going to go ahead. We're going to spin this bowl around and we'll do a little knock, knock, knock. Okay, and we'll lift this thing up and take a look and see what these tea leaves want to show us tonight. And I want to go ahead and say thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. It is truly my honor to be able to look at these tea leaves and bring these messages to you. I just can't explain to you how beautiful it feels that I have found something in my life that I really love to do, right? And I get to share that with people. And really my biggest hope and prayer for other people, especially those that I don't even know that well, right? Just the collective in general. I hope that we each find our thing, right? To discover the thing that really speaks to us, that really makes us feel like we have meaning in life, that we enjoy. Okay, so I want to start right here. We have the green man. Okay, if you don't know much about the green man, and here are the eyes, here's the nose, the mouth, and the whole head would be about right here, okay? Here would be the chin and the beard. So the green man is a European image, right, symbol of a deity, kind of a supernatural entity, consciousness, and often it is depicted as like leaves or some kind of plant that is actually part of the face, like a bunch of leaves together and then the eyes and then, And so it is this almost kind of interesting, well, not unlike reading tea leaves. I mean, it's called, I always mispronounce this, but I think it's parabolia or whatever. It's the tendency that humans have to look for faces and patterns in things that are not human. Like we're always looking for human faces. Like when you look at the sky, when you see a piece of wood, when you look out at the tree line and you notice things that look like faces looking at you. This is kind of that green man energy. The other part of it is interesting because it really is this kind of feeling of it could be anywhere. It could show up anywhere. And so when I see this, it really I know that this is kind of the invitation into the wilderness, right? This is that thing that calls us to the wild. We are kind of invited to begin to shed some of our conditioning, some of our, just the way that we conduct ourselves in day-to-day life. Right? Our manners, how we hold ourselves so carefully, the way we say things, the way that we interact with people and the things around us, and so on and so forth. A lot of times we go out in the world and we just have to be on, right? We have to kind of like turn the dial a little bit into that, like, I'm out in the world now. I gotta behave accordingly. Well, when we're called to the wild, it's like shedding that skin, that mask, that hat, that costume. Because we're not being witnessed, right? This whole idea of finding ourselves out in the wilderness is really about isolation. It's about becoming that monk, right? Going into monk mode. And what is that? What does that mean? To be the hermit, to be the monk. Yeah, it is. It's departing from the busyness of life and all of the, the connectedness of social, tribal engagement, and going off on your own to focus on the work at hand. And now what is that? It could be any kind of work, really. If you really think about it, and this is maybe not the exact same thing, but why do we get to a certain age, we complete school, and some of us, some do, some don't. I don't know. I didn't go off to college. I briefly went to school and dropped out. But, some people, they do. They go off to school. Why do they leave home to go to school? Because it's about the journey. It's about that self-evolution. We have to depart from the nest, right? And if you didn't go to school, maybe you went out in the world. Maybe you went traveling. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you did stay home and got a job and all of that. But the point is, the wilderness is calling you. The wilderness is just the name for it. Right? But it is. Something is calling you and you know it. And it's time. I think it's time to really focus in on the things that you want to change in your life, your goals. You can't do that in relation to somebody else. I mean, maybe you can, but it's very difficult. So we go out into the universe, into the wilds, into, wherever. You can think of like Jesus. He went out into the desert, right? And you're alone. You're alone with yourself. Now, we also have two people here. Let's look at this. We have one person here holding their hand up, feeding this other person over here. You can see here would be the head area, the body, and the legs and the arm. Okay, now above we have something that looks like maybe a vase or a teapot or a coffee pot or something holding water or liquid. I should say liquid. So I'm going to look at this as kind of that life-bringing water, right? The Ace of Cups, holding that dew of the universe, of the gods, right? Ambrosia, Amaret, mana, right? And so I feel like as you slip away from the life that you are living in this moment, right? And you are focused more on that self-work, you begin to feel better. You begin to wake up and not lament the day. It hasn't even begun yet, and you're already bored. right? You're already just, ugh, I have so much to do, or I don't have enough to do, or I have to deal with all these people, or nobody's calling me, nobody talks to me, nobody's checked in with me, whichever. Or both, right? It kind of sometimes vacillates. But here, where you have kind of put up some boundaries around yourself, you've allowed yourself to stop looking at all the calls, stop reading all the texts and the emails, and just giving yourself the space to breathe. To begin to feel that thing returning. All of the ideas, all of the opportunities, the potential, it starts to come back in. First slowly, and then more quickly. And then you're all of a sudden you're full. You're full of different things you want to do. And you are not being skewed or pulled or what's the word? I'm trying to think, like stifled or made to feel like whatever you had thought of is stupid or not funny or not cool or not interesting or not worthwhile or whatever it is. Whatever they have to say, whatever their opinion, just kind of dissipates into the ether. Who cares? Because you're not taking in all of this unnecessary stimuli. And here you are, feeding yourself. Here you are in unity. Anima, animus, the revealer, these archetypes, the Hierophant, the High Priestess, the Desert Father, the monk, the nun, the initiate, the devotee, the mother, the father. You would do anything for yourself. Repeat that with me. You would do anything for yourself. Just like you would do for your children. And so you are. You're in this period of time. You're stepping away. You're being, what? Indulgent? Selfish? Good. More of that. Don't let anybody make you feel any type of way about putting yourself first. You need to be the priority. This is your life. Why else are you here? But to grow and to fail. And to grow some more, and to fail some more, and to grow some more, and to fail some more, and to find yourself. And you find you're all that you need. You're all that you need. Now, I want to take a look. I saw this when we first started. First, we have, let's just look at this cute penguin. Oh my gosh. Look at its head, its little beak, its little wings, and its little body. I love it. I love it. Now, the penguin's interesting because it is a very balanced relationship between the penguins. The males take care of the egg. The females take care of the egg, and they're so cute. If you've never seen when they have to walk around with the egg, because they shove it down, like down between their legs down here in their little fluff, and they keep it down there to keep it warm and so on. So they have to kind of waddle around even more than they waddle usually, right? And it's so cute. But when I see the penguin, I think immediately, this is a long range migrator. They go all over the place, right? I mean, not just across the continent. I mean, they swim from continent to continent. I mean, it's a lot, right? So that's it. Willing to travel far distances, far and wide. Okay, for what? For the family, for family, right? But also, again, that balanced dynamic. So I'm looking at this and I feel like, yeah, this really, it all points to you having this it's like this drive within you. You don't give up. Once you get an idea in your head, you are on that thing until it is complete. Okay? But I also feel like you're really good on a team. And I wouldn't be surprised if you had, a spouse or a partner or a family member or somebody you're really close to and you're like, as the kids say, gang, gang, right? You are close, you do everything together. Not everything, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of things together. You can rely on each other. Now, I think for you, it has been such an important part of your character development to be somebody that people can rely on. And I think that's the big, big symbol here. You are somebody who you do what you say and you say what you mean and mean what you say. Right? What does that mean? You only utter what you mean. And whatever you do say, you do mean it, right? So this is a very strong symbol, and I love it. I love seeing it. Now, we're still getting to, where did it go? That's the green man. There it is. So we have also the skeleton. And you can see right here the eyes, the nose, the kind of mouth area down here. Here's it's the skull, not just the skeleton, the skull. So we do have death. We have the energy of an ending here. And so I feel like some things are they're going to have to change. Right? Whatever the blockage is. For some reason, I keep thinking this has to do with work. I almost feel like you've worked somewhere for a long time, or at least it feels like a long time, and you've put so much of yourself into this company and this business, and yet it's like you might as well have been like the newest hire. You get overlooked for raises, promotions, bonuses. You're just, whatever. If you're not salary, your schedule is just ridiculous. Like, the opposite of what you're asking for. And I feel like you're just getting to a point where this is almost kind of, it almost feels like it's a personal thing. Right? Like it almost feels like you're being singled out. And it's almost kind of offensive. I mean, it is. It feels offensive. And so I feel like this might be the realm which the end is coming. But I do see on the other side of this something right. Like the sun is rising once again. Okay? So I feel like as you make space, it's going to be the space you need to receive the blessings that you're really looking for, right? Even if you don't know what they are yet, like what you want, what you really are envisioning your future to be like, it will arrive, even if you haven't set your intention on it yet, okay? Now, we also have U2. I don't know. Maybe you're a big U2 fan. I always have that one song. What is it? Oh, she moves in mysterious ways. Yes, that one. She moves in mysterious ways. Oh man, that reminds me of being like, I don't even know, maybe a teenager when that came out. Maybe I was a little bit younger. Okay, let's see. We have a person in a hat. It looks to be like a feminine person, maybe an older woman. Reminds me very much. Have you ever seen that social group? I always mix it up if it's the red hat women or the purple hat women, because they wear purple and red. But they get together and they have, I don't know, little meetings and play cards. And I used to work at this diner in Pittsburgh, and a group of women would come in and they would, reserve the back room, which is like where people would have parties and that kind of thing. And they would just have these meetings, and they were always laughing and enjoying each other, and they'd get really cutely dressed up in their hats and their like tea party dresses, and I'm looking at this and it has that same kind of feeling, right? This kind of very neatly put together person, a little bit eccentric maybe, a little bit ostentatious, a little bit showy. But I feel like this is somebody who really left their mark on your life. I feel like this is almost like an auntie, grandma, great grandma, something like that. I feel that you learn that life could be fun from this person. That even if you like look at somebody, you think, oh, they've lost so much, or they never got married, they never found their love, they didn't have children, whatever it was. And you might think, oh, that's so sad for them. Yet they're living an amazing life. They're enjoying themselves, and so I feel like, like knowing somebody like this so close, it's like it opens the windows and doors in your mind, and you start to think, well, maybe everybody's wrong. Maybe there are other ways to live. Maybe I don't have to do all of the things that they say I should do, right? And that's so freeing. It's always been like one of my big hopes in life to be that like auntie, to be that friend, or, the mom friend out there that's living kind of a different life and enjoying life and being that, I don't know about being a role model, but being that little, reminder that there are infinite ways to live. As many people as there have ever been, they've each found their own unique way to exist. If we see that or recognize that or not. And that is beautiful. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to do our gratitude affirmation cards. And I'm just going to flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. So today is the eclipse. It's the full moon and the eclipse. And I think it's like the blood worm moon. I think that's what it was called, which I love. That's like, it sounds so gross. I also love the imagery of the worm, because in alchemy and like old medieval lore, the worm was aligned with the devil, right? Lucifer. And they called him the great white worm. And there's other mythology that's kind of more like, I don't know, part of like the mystery traditions. I don't know exactly which ones, but some of them. And that the worm was actually like one of the first primordial entities to like make way for the earth and humanity. And so part of kind of like a creation story, and very interesting. It's kind of funny if you go back. And I wish I remembered who wrote about this, but if you go back and look at some medieval texts, lithographs or engravings or manuscripts, and you see where there's often the serpent, right? And sometimes wearing the crown because it's the crown of the fallen. We think, okay, well, that's the serpent. That's, you know, Satan, the devil. That's who brings the apple and, you know, that whole story. But if you really look at some of them, they aren't actually serpents. They're worms. So it's also very interesting. So I don't know. I love the idea of the worm. I don't know how I got like hung up on it about 5 years ago, but yeah. So I thought it was the blood worm moon, and I couldn't be more happy. We also have the eclipse, so good time to be setting our intentions. Now, when you see this reading, it'll be a day later, but still, right? We're living in the energy of it all. So if you can, and if you will, set some intentions for this next cycle. What do you want to do? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How are you feeling? What do you want to feel like? You know, set those intentions. Now, we have celestial oasis. I am thankful for the celestial oasis planet Earth. Our world is a source of life in our great galaxy, providing a nourishing atmosphere, gravity, breathable air, and everything necessary for us to exist. Amen. Practice. Look at the night sky and behold the vastness of the galaxy. Let a sense of wonder arise that the earth holds all necessary elements for life within our great universe. What a blessing we all are. What a blessing life is. What a blessing every little variable, infinite amounts of variables aligning to bring you here right now with me. I feel blessed. I feel very blessed for that. Now we'll finish with our inner child oracle cards. And I'm just going to flip through, stop where it feels right. And what does it want to tell us? Number 12, emotions are the reflection. Look for the deeper meaning. Look for the deeper meaning. I guess we're going to go excavating our emotions this next few days. And also, I forgot to do, I know, our lucky numbers. Number 61, first lucky number, 87, 61, 87, and 3. It was going to be 58, but it's 3. All right. Gemini, I want to tell you I love you because I do, and I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to tell you once more, I love you. We'll talk in a few days. Please take care of yourself. Have a good night. Bye-bye.